I don't think I think Tank will sign that contract.
Dang.
And I'm going to sign a contract too. So it's
Then
like,
you're gonna get it on.
Yeah.
They throw shots, but they say so. Like he throw shots, and then want to be buddy. You know what I mean? And I feel as though that's don't be like that. If you like that, then stand on that.
They throw shots, but they say he throws shots and then wants to be buddy. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the case. So don't be like that if you like that. I think Tank signed that contract down, and I'm going to sign a contract too, so you're going to get it on. Davis is willing to face Shakur Stevenson on one harsh stipulation. John Tank at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas on June 16th, WBA lightweight champion Davis solidified his place among boxing's top fighters with a spectacular 7th-round knockout of Frank Martin. This was Davis's 5th successful title defense since he won the vacant title by defeating Yuri Orcus Gamboa in December 2019. Davis now has a flawless record of 30 with an amazing 28 knockout victories. Davis has made a name for himself in the lightweight division as a formidable fighter and knockout artist.
And the whole Loma thing wasn't his fault. Loma's the one that backed out of it and said he was going to take some time away. So that's not necessarily on Tank. Regardless if we're talking resumes or not, I think the one thing that Tank has over Shakur is he's actually entertaining to watch. He is a pay-per-view fighter. He does sell pay-per-view fights. Like, people want to see Tank fight. He's exciting. I don't think Shakur or Stevenson has that under his belt.
And he wasn't at blame for the entire L situation. Regardless of whether we're discussing resumes or not, LMA is the one who pulled out and stated that he was going to take some time off, so that's not entirely on Tank. In my opinion, Tank has one advantage over Shakur. He is a pay-per-view fighter who does sell the stakes have never been higher as Davis prepares for his next challenge.
I think it's going to be
the lightweight division is full of talented fighters, and Davis has a variety of competitive options.
Yeah, I think that fight.
Pay-per-view fights are like people want to see Tank fights because he's exciting. I don't think Shakur Stevenson has that under his belt at all. The most notable of these is Shakur Stevenson, the current WBC lightweight champion and silver medalist from the 2016 Olympics. A battle between the two would be a collision of styles as well as a unifying match. The destructive might of Davis against Stevenson's defense, the public exchanges between the two boxers have increased the possible fight's brilliance and stoked spectators' interest.
And he'll be 31 at the time of his retirement. Like, I'm not buying that. I do think there's some truth to what he's saying in terms of, like, I buy that he wants to just step away. There's a lot of fights we're potentially missing out on. And today, this is noteworthy, but he dismissed Shakur Stevenson as somebody who's accomplished nothing in boxing. Their resumes they're not like terribly far apart in terms of quality of opposition, things of that nature. Like, Tank's been in our lives a lot longer, but Shakur Stevenson rose to prominence very quickly. And I think, like, that's amazing.
And he'll be retiring in 31 years. I don't believe that, but I do believe that there is some truth to his statement that he wants to just step away, because there are many fights that we might be missing out on, and today this is significant. However, he dismissed Shakur Stevenson as someone who hasn't accomplished anything in boxing. Their resumes aren't that dissimilar in terms of the caliber of opposition and things like that, but Shakur Stevenson rose to fame very quickly. And I believe that's a miss beyond Stevenson. Other intriguing opponents for Davis include William Zappa, an unbeaten rising star from Mexico, and Teofimo Lopez, the WBO junior welterweight champion. Although each of these bouts has different difficulties, Stevenson stands out as the most important in terms of the legacy it would create and the audience excitement it would create. As the champion, Shakur Stevenson is a crucial challenge for Gervonta Davis. Stevenson, a 2016 Olympic silver medalist, is unbeaten and considered by many to be among the most technically proficient boxers of all time. Stevenson has skillfully ascended the professional ranks by neutralizing his opponents with his keen defensive abilities and remarkable ring IQ. Since his approach is so different from Davis's, a possible battle between the two might be an exciting
that's obvious, but that would be, that's
Stevenson has not hesitated to publicly challenge Davis and make it apparent that he thinks he has what it takes to win.
Me and Tank, it's the biggest fight in the world.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be the biggest boxing fight in the world when it happens. I could see it happening not too far in the future.
Really?
I think Tank will sign that contract.
Dang.
And I'm going to sign a contract too, so
then you're going to get it on.
A unification fight between Davis and Stevenson would not only garner a lot of attention, but also elevate both fighters' careers.
I was like, all right, cool.
For Davis, defeating Stevenson would silence critics who claim that he hasn't consistently faced elite-level opponents. And for Stevenson, defeating Davis would establish him as the undisputed king of the lightweight division, adding an unexpected twist to the story.
Night and do you talk
Tanker signed that contract, damn, and I'm going to sign a contract too. With his recent declaration that he intends to retire from the sport after 3 more fights in 2025, Gervonta Davis has left fans and observers wondering why he made the move. Some people see it as a negotiating strategy, while others see it as a clear sign that Davis intends to leave the sport on his own terms. Davis's remarks were given in a dissatisfied tone that suggested he was frustrated with the boxing community or perhaps with the pressure to stay at the top. He is a star because to his unbeaten record and knockout-heavy career, but the pressure to perform consistently against elite opponents might wear him out. Fans would be deprived of possible marquee bouts, especially the eagerly awaited matchup with Shakur Stevenson if Davis goes through with his retirement plans. Although his achievements to date are impressive, stepping away without facing Stevenson or other elite opponents like T.U. Lopez raises concerns about how he would have performed against the best of his generation. While the possibility of Davis vs. Steven excites fans, there are several obstacles in the way of getting into the fight. According to accounts, Davis has made the fight a cruel condition. One possible point of contention is a rehydration clause that Davis might insist on in order to restrict Stevenson's weight gain following the weigh-in. Although these clauses are typical in boxing, they are controversial because they can impair a fighter's performance and even jeopardize their health. Alternatively, Davis might demand a larger portion of the purse, pointing to his established status as a pay-per-view draw. These negotiations are frequently heated and have the potential to postpone or completely ruin the fight. Because the fighter's unbeaten records and championship statuses are what make this battle commercially appealing, any dispute over the terms could deprive fans of a contest that could define an era in the lightweight division. Another wrinkle in the Davis-Stevenson story is Shakur Stevenson's alleged insistence on a multi-fight contract rather than a one-fight deal. Although multi-fight deals can provide stability and financial security, they also make talks more difficult, especially when working.
Early in your career, I feel like that's
a star
easy
like
route.
Davis, who has
I feel like I
substantial
went to the
influence.
Olympics and I fought the
This
higher
revelation,
level of
which was
competition.
disclosed by Steven Espinoza, calls into doubt Stevenson's strategy for landing high-profile fights. In response to Stevenson's requests, Davis has dismissed them, saying that Stevenson is not worthy and that he needs more experience before facing a fighter of Davis's caliber. Davis's remarks imply that, despite having a world title, Stevenson has not yet demonstrated his abilities at the greatest level. This contemptuous demeanor may be a ploy to gain leverage in talks, but it also runs the danger of offending spectators who are dying to see the battle take place.
Tell y'all excuses.
For his part, Stevenson probably views a multi-fight contract as a means of achieving his long-term professional objectives, which include fights against other well-known opponents. However, this approach might backfire if it prevents or postpones his chances of facing Davis, a match that would surely define his career. Davis recently expressed his annoyance at what he perceives to be Shakur Stevenson's inconsistent actions. He criticized Stevenson for acting boldly online but acting differently in person, citing an incident where Stevenson allegedly went to Davis's locker room to take a picture after making harsh remarks on Twitter. Stevenson's public persona, especially on social media, doesn't match his behavior in private. "Don't be like that," Davis said. "If you like it, then stand by it. Don't try to say all this crap on Twitter and then rush to my locker room to snap a photo." His remarks draw attention to what appears to be Stevenson's lack of genuineness, implying that Davis wants greater coherence between his words and deeds.
Put my bread on him again.
Additionally, Davis questioned Stevenson's motivations for a possible battle, asserting that despite his public declarations, Stevenson won't fight me. This exacerbates the two parties' existing hostility for Davis. This seems to be about more than just a fight, it's about integrity and keeping one's word.
There's people that do the song.
Davis seems to be daring Stevenson to demonstrate his sincerity by entering the ring.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
You and Shakur had some back and forth going. I'm talking about some serious back. This is the first time I ever seen Tank listen, this might have been the first time I seen my Tank from Baltimore come out. Nigga said, "What up, buzz all the niggas?" I was like,
Cause it's like I wasn't really on no like speaking on other people's name type stuff. You know what I mean? And a lot of people.
There was some back and forth between you and Shakur, and I'm talking about some real back issues. This may have been the first time I've ever seen my Tank from Baltimore come out __, as I stated to them all. Because I wasn't really talking about other people's names or anything like that, and many people were aware of the verbal interactions between Gervonta and in a recent jab at Shakur Stevenson, Davis said, "What has Shakur done? What has he done in sports? He has done nothing." These remarks highlight the growing tension between two of boxing's most talented fighters, both of whom are leaving their mark in the lightweight division. In response to Tank's comments, Shakur Stevenson has confidently stated his abilities and achievements while indicating interest in a future collisions, although Stevenson, who is renowned for his cunning defensive skills and tactical acumen, seemed unconcerned by the criticism. Davis's remarks reveal his sense of superiority, which is supported by his standing as a knockout artist with a sizable fan base. The competitive character of the sport is reflected in this exchange, which goes beyond egos. Both fighters have sizable fan bases, and a possible contest would be a huge boxing event. Since Stevenson recently switched to lightweight, where Davis reigns is among the best fighters, a future bout between
you
the two
go into like a
seems more
sauna
likely.
and just sweat it out.
Nah,
The
I don't
verbal
do the
sparring
sauna.
heightens the
But people
tension
do
and
that.
anticipation
Yeah,
for what might be a
people that
bout
do
that
the sauna
defines
with
their
me.
careers. Fans are left
I
wondering
just
whether
up my
these words
training
will
more. I
result
just
in
get in
action in
more
the ring.
shape, so
If a fight
that's
were to
the only
occur,
difference.
it would not only
It
settle
can't-
the score, but also give both fighters a platform to prove their greatness. Until then, the verbal battle is likely to continue, keeping the focus firmly on Davis and Stevenson. Boxing thrives on rivalries, and this one has all the makings of a classic talent trash talk and the promise of high stakes.
Can we see you with Shakur before you go?
For what? Like, who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him. The Keyshawn looking way more better than this nigga.
So
I keep screaming this nigga name. He haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing.
So what do you think that those might
Keep
be
saying his
afraid?
name for.